for this development of newspapers, this transformation. You cannot quantify a creative and cultural change on a spreadsheet. You can always talk to private equity about cost saving and they'll do their calculations, but you cannot explain to them how the creative people, how the content people will transform a business and turn that into long-term profitability. So I think at this time, the answer to the question is it's not business as normal. Newspapers should be under secure, long-term ownership. They should be returned to their creative heart. They should invest in the future, in digital in particular, and in supplying other goods and services to their readers. That is something which amounts to the biggest transformation, the transformation of the print industry that the media sector has ever witnessed or faced. And scrambling in and out of this business for a quick profit is not the way to do it. This transformation deserves a little more time and patience, and my proposition is that the long-term results will be worth that time and patience. Thank you very much.
Do you want to take this one? Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. When you've arrived in Berlin 2 years ago, you've been welcomed as being a Heuschrecke, a locust. Is there still anyone saying that to you, or are you now the publisher here in Berlin?
Well, I hope that it's, I'll use this, I hope that the locust label has completely disappeared, because we have demonstrated that our newspapers in Berlin are highly protected and they're nurtured. And I'm glad to say that Berliner Kurier is the only tabloid newspaper in Europe that I know of which is actually increasing in circulation sales. And of course we have launched a new newspaper, Hamburger Morgenpost am Sonntag, successfully when people said it couldn't be done. That does tend to demonstrate that we're thinking long-term rather than thinking of stripping a business of its assets and selling it on quickly. And I've made very direct statements today that I don't believe that's good for the health of the newspaper industry, and therefore I hope people will accept that the locust label was associated with private equity who were partners but have now been bought out by my company, and we are 100% owners, and we're committed to developing these businesses for the long term.
You've told us about Mecom plc, which is a public company, and about the pension funds of London City, which supports you. In which thing are you more interested, in shareholder value or in public value?
Well, of course they go together, and we shouldn't make the mistake of thinking this is in any way UK money going into Mecom. Deutsche Bank, UBS, all of these continental-based businesses and investors are involved in the shareholding of Mecom. So it's European money, or even global money, which believes in a vision that newspapers can be transformed, and they're looking for good, strong dividend streams in the future. But you can't be in media without being subject to doing public good, because we don't, as shareholders, really own these newspapers, not the heart and soul of these newspapers. Berliner Zeitung, Berlingske Tidende are owned by their communities, and if you don't serve those communities and contribute to the public good, you're not really going to stay in business.
But European money, I suppose, is interested in a good margin, and you as a publisher, you want to invest in quality, which costs money. Isn't that a contradiction?
Not at all. I mean, there's lots of arguments about quality, but it is judged by the community that you serve. And my proposition is that this community can be in different forms. It can be top-end, like our title, Berliner Zeitung, or it can be a more popular market, like BT in Denmark. But that community deserves a service and will be the judge of quality in particular markets. And of course, quality does cost money. Where we concentrate on making efficiencies is in replacing old practices